The greatest shooter in the world, the Steph Curry of lacrosse, Ryan Brown is as good as it gets. Today we're going to play Ryan some of his best clips and ask him exactly how we can become the next Ryan Brown. I'm Jake with Lax Weekly. Welcome to episode number 4 of Reacting to Highlights. Oh, and guys, by the way, I'm doing my first ever big giveaway at the end of this video, so make sure to stick around after you watch the greatness of Ryan Brown. Okay, Ryan, we gotta start here. This is one of the longest shots I've ever seen. I mean, look, you're basically at the restraining box. What was going on here?
Yeah, that was one of those ones when you shot it and you're like, oh, that was I thought he wasn't in the goal as much as he was after I shot the ball. And looking at replay, I was like, oh, he was ready for that. That was probably not, the best shot selection I could take. Thankfully it went in and it was a good shot, but that was one of those ones I looked back on film. I was like, oh, that's that was a little closer than he was a little bit more set than I thought he was there. Sometimes when you're feeling it and you get lucky, it just goes.
Yeah, and I remember you had 8 goals in this game. So, do you keep track in your head? I literally have 8 freaking goals right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that was kind of like a tight game. So, it's Hopkins Hughes too. So we were really just focusing on winning. Pellegrino runs up to me and goes dude, I think you have 10 goals right now. I'm like, well, we only have 8 on the board. So I mean, I don't know if I had 10, but I think at this point I had, all 7 or 8 or whatever we're at here. So it was yeah, dang, I've scored a lot of goals. How many have I actually scored? And then, oh wow, I've scored 7 goals here. This is a lot of goals.
Okay, and completely switching things up, I was Instagram stalking you and came across this picture. Can you explain this one to us?
Yeah, that might have been one of my first Instagrams ever. I think that might have been either senior high school or freshman year of college. My hair is super long and it just gets very bushy too, boxy, bushy. I still wanted to keep it long for the season, so I kind of cut it into a mullet. Yeah, I don't know. Throw it on Instagram. Didn't really know what Instagram was at that point in time. Thought it was just Snapchat, that didn't go away. So there it is.
Yeah, I think your Instagram game has improved since then, and now I want to bring it to 2018 in the FIL World Championship final against Canada. Y'all are down by 1 with 3 minutes left. You hit this low to high rip to tie the game. What was happening?
Canada, they play pretty tight and pretty soft perimeter, just because they have Dylan in the net, who is a terrific goalie and gobbles those outside shots up. So as that ball is coming to me, I knew I was okay, if I read this space right and I get out far enough, I want to be able to catch this, step up and shoot it before Brody snaps back to me. So I just was here we go. Got out the space, caught it, saw the net. I was all right, he's kind of crouching, just gonna pull it, shoot for literally either make this or miss this, and luckily it went in.
Yeah, I truly think that is one of the most clutch lacrosse shots ever, in my opinion. Now I want to bring it to the PLL season last year. Tell me about this crazy shot. You're running away from the goal, but somehow bring it back.
I was moving, but felt like I was close to the net, and I just saw the goal and just flicked it there, and it just went exactly where I went. It was one of those things shot a little outside, drifted back in. It ended up working out pretty well.
Yeah, that shot was insane. And you being such a good shooter, I'm curious, what percentage of your goals would you say go in exactly where you wanted them to versus just shooting it hard and hoping it goes in?
I would say most of them, obviously the trend, you're playing the trends, could you shoot a bad shot right down the middle and the goalie guessed think, because it's professional, that you're going to shoot a good shot and think low and away and he just hitches and it goes in right over a stick? Yeah, of course. But over, 50 shot, sample size, good shots are going to go and bad shots won't. So there's plenty of times I shoot the ball to what I would be oh, perfect location, but the goalie just makes a great play and saves it. And then of course there's times when, you see bad shots that you're how did the goalie not save that? That go in is too. So, that's one thing that's just different about lacrosse is it's not like basketball. If you shoot a perfect shot, it's going to go in 100% of the time. Shoot a perfect shot going right for the top corner, but the goalie just makes a great play.
Got it. Yeah, and one thing I like about your game, you always get super hype after goals. So, do you know what celebration you're doing, or do you just do whatever comes to mind?
Yeah, I don't really know half the time what I'm doing when I'm celebrating. I always try to do some type of celebration, or not anything crazy, riding my stick as a surfboard or anything like that, but a little fist bump, or put your hands in the air, you celebrate with your teammates, get excited that you scored a goal.
So I'm curious, who do you think has the best celebration game?
Yeah, Kalmar does some good ones. I mean, Gutterding really likes to celebrate a lot. He's always getting fired up. Marcus gets fired up.
Yeah, okay. Also, I was going through all your highlights, and I literally can't tell if you're right-handed or left-handed. So which one is it?
So, like, naturally, I'm a righty, but I played lefty for USA, and then my sophomore year of college for Hopkins, I also played on the left side. That's the nice thing about being two-handed is, like, you can fill in multiple spots on teams. So, you know, it's always nice to be a little versatile to kind of be able to plug in wherever.
So, yeah, I'm curious, like, when did you realize, okay, I'm going to become, like, the off-ball shooter? That's my thing.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't say there was just, like, a point in time when it was. It was just, like, your game, you know, almost morphs into a certain way through the years that you get there, just by like your setup on your team, what you're doing. You know, you slowly like kind of filled into an off-ball player role because, you know, playing with Wells and Shaq in college, it was like, all right, do we want me dodging and them shooting, or them dodging and me shooting?
Oh, and guys, if you haven't subscribed to the Lax Weekly email newsletter, I promise you're missing out. Every single week, I talk to a college or pro lacrosse player and give you tangible advice based on what they said. Over 1,000 of you have already joined, so check that link down in the description. And yeah, so what advice would you give aspiring lacrosse players who are trying to decide what they should work on in their game?
One thing is first is like being able to kind of identify what you're good at. So there's two ways to think about it. Like, obviously, one, get good at everything, or two, like double down on something that you're good at and get really, really good at it. I kind of try to just, you know, get good at everything younger, but then again, like, you're obviously gonna be better at some things than others. So like as a youth player, you know, you don't want to pigeonhole yourself into one role. When I was younger, it was like, oh, I'm going to be an off-ball righty shooter. Then, like, you know, I don't know if I would have made Team USA or started, you know, as a sophomore at Hopkins because, you know, my left hand probably wouldn't have been there.
Yeah, that's such good advice. And I got to ask this too. Being the best outside shooter in the world, what do you think is the biggest shooting mistake that you see in younger lacrosse players?
The big thing, because like obviously coaching, you know, high school all the way down to youth down here in Texas, is like weight transfer. You know, kids get so wrapped up in like just seeing the stick head that they forget to like drive off their back foot and like explode to the net and get over their front foot. They're just like kind of, you know, sending their hands to the net, and they're, you know, you're only using 50% of your body, just your upper body there. They're losing like, you know, half the speed they can be getting on their shot.
Wow, yeah, that totally makes sense. And so what drills would you do, or like how would you go about training to get a better shot?
You know, you look at like world-class sprinters, you know, their technique is flawless, and then they get really, really strong in like the weight room and explosive. You know, you don't see them out there like with ankle weights on, you know, running to get faster. You know what I mean? Like same thing kind of shooting. You want great techniques, and then you want to get strong so then you can be explosive through that movement. More than, you know, doing something with like putting a weighted shaft on, or like, you know, using like a weighted ball or something like that. Like that's, you know, obviously that's going to give you an effect of where something feels lighter, but it's not actually gonna like carry over as much as you going out and getting really strong in a deadlift or a back squat, or, you know, power cleans or bench press or something like that, where you have real strength and you can actually, you know, take that and then use it on the field.
Yeah, thank you for saying all this. It's really gonna help everyone out. And I'm curious, what's your stick setup right now?
I choose the burn 2 head and the burn carbon shaft, and then just 2 straights across the top.
Wow, you're giving away all the secret sauce right now. I appreciate it. And now let's bring it back to some more Instagrams. So explain this one to me.
Oh yeah, so that's on Easter. That's my roommate's bow and arrow. I think I was chirping Scotty Raj. He was he's a good buddy of mine, and he was like shooting a crossbow or something. Just pulled out the bow and arrow. What's up, Raj? Shout out, Raj.
Dude, I've asked Scotty like 5 times to come on, and he just refuses.
Yeah, that sounds like Scott.
I'm curious, who do you think has the best Instagram game?
Best Instagram game? I mean, I wouldn't even put myself in like the top 10 to 15. There's a lot of guys that do a good job on Instagram, that post a lot and do a good job for their followers. Scott posts a lot. Kyle Hartzell posts a lot. Rob posts a lot. Trevor does a good job with it, but yeah.
And now for some last pieces of advice. How do you stay confident in a game?
I would just say it's just like knowing how much, you know, training and work you put in throughout the year. You know, it just allows you to be confident on the field. Do your job. Let everyone else do their job. You do your job. Just focus on what you need to do. So I wouldn't say as much as like mental game, focusing on that, as more as just being like confident and a trust factor that everyone's going to do their job.
Yeah, and I'm curious, do you have like a number of goals that you want to score each game?
you know, like obviously it'd be nice if you could score 8 goals every game. That would be ideal. But you know, so a lot of it, you know, too, especially being like a, you know, off-ball player. You know, some days, you know, the defense might be slide happy and they might slide everything. You know, it allows you to get hands-free and get 8-10 shot, good looks at the net where you can stick, you know, 6, 7, 8 goals. In other games, you know, they might not slide at all, and you know, you might walk away with 1 or 2 goals.
Okay guys, and as I promised, I'm doing my first ever giveaway. This month, I'm going to be buying one of you a completely brand new lacrosse head of your choice. I'm also going to be featuring you in my Instagram bio and YouTube descriptions. So 1 comment on every post or video equals 1 entry into the giveaway. And only 1 comment per thing counts. So if you comment on every single one of my posts and videos, you're going to increase your chances of winning significantly. That's it for now. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. I want to give back. So have a great day. I'll see you on Thursday. Peace.